Hello, my friends, and welcome to another pre-recorded game. Today we are going to be running Schmoopsy. We're going to be running Chaedi's character. This is the last in my series of these that I'm going to be running before we actually come back to play. I know in some of the earlier ones I said that it was going to be coming back on the 10th. I couldn't quite get my poop in a group to make that happen, so we're coming back on the 23rd, which I think is that Saturday, but I'll have to double check it. Nope, it's what I put in the stream. That better be what it is. So we're gonna do the thing. Are you ready to do the thing, Schmoopsy?
I'm ready to do the thing.
All right.
Let's do the thing.
So, where last we left our intrepid band of adventurers, and for those of you who have been following along, this is going to be a recap because you will have seen everybody else's stuff up until this point. But this is all new to Schmoopsy, so we're gonna go ahead and. By the way, if you want me to stop calling you Schmoopsy, I could absolutely stop calling you Schmoopsy. But here we are. You froze there for a second. Say again.
No, Schmoopsy is fine. Yeah, there's some hinky internet stuff going on. I'm gonna see if I can reduce some computer use or something. See if I can get that a little more stable.
Well, whilst you do that, I will recap.
All right.
Where last we left our intrepid band of adventurers, they had just defeated the shadow dragon below the city of Winterhold, the creature that was pulling the strings of the dark elves that had invaded the city. With the dragon defeated, the Drow army broke and were scattered to the four winds by the army more recently led by Saul in the wake of the death of General Loomis. The next month or so is pretty much pure chaos and goes by very, very quickly. The matriarchy, the Berglund matriarchy, Kira's moms, take over nominal control over the city just to kind of get things organized and try to start some of the restoration stuff. You and your party are kind of press-ganged into, not really press-ganged because this is kind of what you guys do, press-ganged into service in helping with the restoration, organizing, that sort of thing. One of the first bits of actual legislation that the moms put into any kind of effective law was to lift the ban on elf and elf-blooded individuals on entering the city of Winterhold. They got a little bit of pushback from that because it's tradition, but also the Drow are considered elves, and a lot of the people were like, well, didn't they just fucking take us over? And they're like, but no, because that was the dragon pulling their strings, not necessarily the Drow, so only more political than that. Not my brand of politics. So the first month traverses pretty quickly. About two to 3 weeks in the midst of that month, the dwarves do show up, led by Merrick of the Stone, the Brad Pitt of dwarves, Malin's fuck buddy, and so they kind of come in and they start getting utilized to help chase down some of the pockets of dark elf resistance that still pop up now and again, and generally just keeping the city safe and secure while restoration begins. They also, their crafting skills are also very finely used and honed and all that stuff too. So they're put to good use. The individual known as Whiskey Jack starts taking on basically set up residence in the city and starts enacting vigilante justice by night, keeping the streets safe after dark from both any dark elf elements that are still about and any human elements that are going to try to take advantage of the chaos. Um, it's never fully discussed, but your brother is often missing at night. Um, and I mean, you're not stupid. Um, you suspect that he's probably going out and doing something similar. Saul is.
Fair.
What's that?
I said fair.
Okay. Saul is again kind of pressed into the status of acting general. He specifically requests not to not be full general, and seems to be grooming Kira and Tristan to potentially replace him at some at some point. And honestly, not that you paid too much attention to political matters, because it's not really your bag. That's more Adira's thing. You do know there's been a lot of pushback from the community to hold an actual election to elect a new elder into the position of leadership. The main proponent of this is the head of the Church of Caruth, and a gentleman by the name of Alderman Bellamy. Alderman Bellamy. There we go. And he has a strong ally in a woman named Sabina, who you later learn is Kira's older sister.
All
right. So they're kind of going at loggerheads with the Berglund matriarchy. That kind of gets you up to date. Kira, kind of towards the end of this month, Kira decides that because the Hierophant of Zaratsu was killed, and none of the other religious leaders have the power of regenerating an arm, Kira decides to go off and at Saul's advice to find somebody that can. So she goes off with Tristan to do that. When Merrick of the Stone came with the dwarves, he came with news of Malin's mother. And so the two of them went off to go deal with that. One night, your brother just kind of up and left. He left you a note stating that he had some things to take care of and he'd see you around.
Rude.
Leoben. I gave Brian the opportunity, like, do you want to say anything else to anybody? He's like, nope, I just leave a note and leave. All right. Adira was a little bit more politic than that. She informed you that she was going to be heading back to Saul's Rest to try to find a little bit more about her actual parentage, as she knows that she was adopted, and some of the recent events had led her to be a little worried about where she came from. And so she will say that she left literally just earlier today. Now things have slowed down quite a bit. You don't, your presence is no longer absolutely necessary, so to speak. It's helpful, but it's not absolutely necessary. And since everybody else is kind of going about their own business, you find your mind is turning to some of the unfinished and unanswered questions revolving around your mom. And the fact that, she was able to appear by the grace of the gods and assist in a pivotal moment, but then immediately had to leave again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what do you want to do with that?
Well, and if everybody else is going off on their own adventures, I'm damn well going to go off on my own adventure.
Is it time for your adventure with Zuko?
It's time for my adventure with Zuko. All right, I need a really edgy teenager that's got a burn scar over one eye.
Where can one find one of those? I am not certain.
I'll settle for just a really edgy teenager. I can give him the scar.
That's not great incentive for people to go with you.
Well, maybe the adventure will be to find a way to fix this car. I don't know.
Maybe Zuko was the friends that we made along the way all the time.
Oh, um, no, honestly, Katie would probably just go exploring and check out new lands and look for new animals to turn into and see if she can find any information on what exactly it is her mom has been doing and why she seems to be stuck doing it. And maybe she can find a way to finish doing what her mom's doing so she can come back.
So your answer to find out what mom is doing is to wander aimlessly in the woods?
I mean, it's my best lead so far.
Fair enough. Are you going to wander anywhere specific, or are you just going to wander aimlessly?
If there are any areas that are like I've heard of, creatures that sound powerful and interesting, but I haven't actually like seen them and can't turn into them yet. Like, if there's a land of dinosaurs, I would like to go there.
Okay, well, go ahead and make a. Tell you what, you could make a nature or history roll. You'll get better results with history, but i.e. the DC is higher with nature.
All right. Well, my nature is 5 higher than my history just for the roll. I'll just go nature. Oh, bollocks! That's a nat 1. So 7. That is an inauspicious start to my adventure with Zuko.
I guess go ahead and try rolling the history, because at this worst you literally can't. I mean, you can technically roll worse because your history is lower, but.
Oh, hey, there we go. Nat double ones. So total of 12.
Oh, nat double ones. Okay, I'm with you now. I'm like, you rolled another one. What the hell?
Oh, I rolled 2 more ones.
You did, just
Simultaneous.
next to each other. The continent, like you've lived around Saul's Rest most of your life. You've done a little bit of traveling. Your mother, sorry, this is bugging me. Your mother was born in Solanel, post the Elven occupation, because your mom isn't 8,000 years old, and was descended from elves that actually resisted the Elven occupation all those umpteen years ago. But the Druid sects kind of focus their attentions just around kind of the woodlands that kind of are the in-between areas, in between the kind of big city states that make up the major populace of Solanel. The city of Arborea is to the far east, and is kind of the central hub of the Druidic sects that exist in the world. The kind of arch druid of the various sects exists and lives there. An individual known as Archdruid Primfeather. You've never met. Your mom had never met. Beyond that, there's rumors of a quote-unquote dark continent to the far east, known as Avanon, that is said to be the origin or home of the Fae.
And that was farther east than Arborea?
Yes. So Arborea is actually part of the continent of Solanel. Avanon is its own continent.
Okay. Well, let's stop at this, or go ahead, head to journey to the city first. We'll check out what this archdruid might be able to teach me.
Okay.
And then if there's still time in my adventure and how things go, maybe I'll head to the next continent.
Okay. It takes a couple of weeks to get there, since one, you don't have the
Okay.
helm of teleportation, and two, um, even if you did, nobody's been there.
True.
Um,
Probably travel fairly quickly by wild shaping.
I suppose. So instead of 2 weeks, it will take you a week to get there,
Okay.
since most of that is woodlands anyway.
Sure.
As you're kind of traveling southeast to head towards Arborea. Um, Now you've never been to the city. You've never been to the city proper, and I'm using city very loosely. You've never been to the city proper, but you've been kind of the outskirts before. So as you draw closer, oh, and you do. I mean, there's random encounters a couple of times, but you're high enough level that it kind of doesn't matter.
Sure.
And you run afoul of some hunters at one point, and you're like, yeah, fuck this, and turn into a bird and fly away. Um,
Pretty much.
and they're like, okay, magic wolf thing, we're gonna leave that the fuck alone.
Well, as a giant eagle, I'd have a fly speed of 80 feet, so I'd probably be just giant eagle most of the time.
Fair enough. Um, so as you fly closer, as you fly, I guess, closer to Arborea, the forest gets more and more dense. And it's definitely a kind of a mixture of deciduous and carnivorous trees, kind of along the lines of a lot of the forests that you'd kind of find around central Minnesota, which is where we are. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the trees get more dense, but as you're kind of flying over with those keen eagle eyes, you do see more and more what you would probably determine to be wild fauna, but in addition, you see a couple of creatures that are definitely behaving not like wild animals.
Hmm.
Specifically, you suspect they're druids in wild shape.
Sure.
Um, and you finally get to the city, which is this large area of this very dense tree growth, but the gnomes and the other creatures that uh, live in this area have kind of coaxed the tree growth to house them, very Rivendell-esque. Um,
Okay.
and have kind of treated, coaxed the living wood to allow them a space for them to live and to exist in
Sure.
this forest. Um, and you land for the first time inside the city limits of Arborea. As
Nice.
you land and kind of shift back to your elven form, nobody bats an eyelash. Um, Indeed, there's a number of individuals that before and after you, either land or kind of run up in their wolf or whatever animal form and shift into their own humanoid version. Um,
Sure.
there's of course the city has this dense canopy overhead, so it's kind of this, even midday, it's kind of this perpetual twilight. But there's these bioluminescent fruit that seems to kind of grow in these straight lines. You also see, like, they're large, when I say large, but about that big, about the size of like a silver dollar, beetles, just colonies of them that also have a bioluminescent glow, which light it actually a lot more effectively than most cities that like urban cities that you've been to before. And at this whole thing is kind of this massive. So you kind of move past the line of trees and come into this massive kind of. It would be, if it were subterranean, it would be a massive cavern, but it's above the ground, and there's the kind of row of trees that go all the way around, and at the center, there's this massive, like, Yggdrasil style tree. And you see kind of in and among the roots There appear to be homes and domiciles all the way up the trunk, even up into the leaves and everything like that. Um, and you are looking at the very center, the very heart of the city of Arborea.
Well, damn. I wonder how long it'd take him to grow all this. Hmm. Right, Archdruid dude. And kind of like look around for the first either humanoid or animal that seems to be not acting like an animal, and like flag them down.
There's kind of individuals all over the place. And you froze. Let's see if you come back to me. I'm kind of amused because you have this, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but your hand's up and you're just kind of, sup? There you are.
I can hear, yeah. I could hear you the whole time, but your image froze for a bit there too.
Okay, that time it looks like it was my internet.
I was gonna say I've run the like speed test on mine a couple of times here, and everything is telling me my internet is fucking great.
Yeah, that time it was my internet. I'm not sure what happened there. Well, the kids are on the internet right now too, so that may be part of it.
Could be.
But anyway, yeah. So there's you can't throw a dead cat without hitting a druid or druid in disguise. I wouldn't advise throwing a dead cat, but
It probably wouldn't be the greatest thing, no. So Chaedi being Chaedi is gonna walk over to the kind of closest one and ask, "Hey, where's the person in charge of all of this?"
you see a fawn actually, kind of glance up, a little startled. Seems they were heavy. They were working on something when you approached and asked the question, and they kind of start a little bit. Oh, oh, you're new.
Wait, now hold on. Is the fawn actually talking?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, satyr.
Ah, okay.
I'm like, I realized what happened there. Deer person.
Got it. That kind of fawn.
Yes, that
All
kind
right.
of Mr. Tumnus style. All right, it all comes together.
Yes. Just flew in this morning, and boy, are my arms tired.
Yes, that joke never gets old.
Hey, I don't get to make it much, okay?
Fair
I
enough.
get as much mileage out of it as I can.
And you see they kind of acknowledge you, like they kind of acknowledge that you're, yeah, okay, but just seem nonplussed by it. And they say, I mean, if you're looking for the Archdruid, you can, and they gesture towards the big old tree. But, they don't just see anybody.
Well, I'm not just anybody, I'm me. Thank you. And then she'll head off towards where he indicated.
You see they're like, sound logic. And they continue about their business.
She'll just head over, see if she can find the Archdruid.
So you start wandering towards the tree. You get to kind of the base of where these giant, almost like mangrove-style roots are kind of arcing into the ground, and you see there's a large quantity of individuals. There's a couple of like tents and kiosks set up, bizarre style. Instead of exchanging gold, they appear to be exchanging just goods and information for the most part. So kind of a more pure barter system. You do see a number of individuals who look more rangery than druidy, who are exchanging actual gold, but that seems to be kind of a rarity in this area.
Sure.
And as you draw closer, you actually see a number of tall, lanky furbolgs with large, long staffs, all kind of wearing the same shade of green. and they're not like uniform by any stretch of the imagination, but the color is very specifically this. It's like a Kelly Robin Hood green. Um,
Okay.
and they appear to be kind of just standing with, being Goliath sized. They're kind of standing over the rest of the crowd, most of whom are, anywhere between squirrel sized all the way up to like polar bear sized. But they stand head and shoulders taller than most of the humanoids, and they're just kind of scanning periodically. They have a bit of a. I mean, if this was like a militaristic city, they would be the most lazy guards you have ever seen in your entire life. But you can tell just kind of based on who they are, their nature, and just your kind of knowledge of how nature works. Like they're actually much more alert than they're probably letting on.
Sure.
These
Okay.
seem to be some kind of maybe official guard and they're kind of standing in positions that would indicate entry into the tree itself.
Okay. Well, they seem to know what's going on here, so I'll go talk to them about seeing the Archdruid.
Okay. You just approach the closest one to you.
Yep.
Okay.
Just kind of go, hello there. New in town. Was hoping to speak with the Archdruid for a moment. Do you know where he might be?
You see the furbolg kind of look down. Oh, hey, how's it going?
Oh, not so bad. How about you?
In my head canon, all furbolgs are from the deep Midwest, like northern Minnesota Midwest or upper Midwest.
All right.
So, oh, not too bad, not too bad. Kind of a nice day. You want to see the Archdruid, you say?
Well, that was the hope.
Do you have business with the Archdruid? Just slowly getting to be Jamaican, but we're gonna ignore that.
Well, yes.
Well, the Archdruid doesn't just see anybody unless they have a good reason. Do you have a good reason?
I do have a good reason.
Excellent. I'll go tell him you're here.
Well, thank you.
Oh, hey, what's your name? He's gonna ask.
Oh, my name is Chaedi.
Nice to meet you, Katie. I'm Otis.
Likewise, Otis.
You see Otis kind of glances over at the other furbolg, who's just a little bit distant, and just kind of does one of the. Oh, just to let you know, I'm gonna go in and talk to the Archdruid. I'll be back in a minute. And he just kind of walks in.
Okay, I'll wait here.
And he does the. Oh, I was talking to my buddy, but don't worry about it. Oh, do you need anything to drink while you're waiting? Forgive my manners.
Oh, no, I'm fine. Thank you, though.
Are you sure? I'm happy to get you some water. I mean, we have this like great nectar that comes from the bees. Tastes like honey, but it's a little bit fermented. It's real good.
Oh, no, that sounds delightful.
We used to call it bead, but that got really confusing, so we just changed it to mead.
Oh. Yeah, I'll try some of this mead. Why, thank you.
Of course. And he walks over to a little alcove, steps inside, and he comes back a minute later with like literally it looks like a large like almost palm leaf wrapped into like a cylindrical, but it's it's about 6 inches tall.
Sure.
And he hands you a large leaf full of mead. He's like, go slow.
Wonderful.
It can be kind of strong.
All right. She'll sip at it while she's waiting.
Okay. So he steps inside. It's mead. It tastes good. It is strong.
Yeah.
What's your con?
Uh, uh, as an elf, 10.
Yeah, so you're about 3 sips in, and the back of your eyes are burning a little bit. Um,
Did you catch that? Oh, you're freezing again.
oh, I did. Can you hear me? I can hear
Yeah,
you.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was my
I
internet
think we
again.
got a little off sync there for a second.
Yeah. So I apologize, everybody who's paying attention. We're apparently having a weird internet day. Um, we're just gonna kind of keep going and hope for the best.
Yep.
So you have a 10 con?
Tencon is an elf. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, like after 3 or 4 sips, like you start to notice a little bit of a buzz. Nothing major, like you're not tipsy by any stretch of the imagination, but you definitely like, oh yeah, this is strong stuff. Um,
Getting a bit of a buzz from the bee libation.
damn right. Where do you think that term came from? Probably not. I don't know.
That would be really funny if it was, though.
I know, right? If the etymology of that particular word was from mead.
Oh,
So he's gone about 10 minutes,
okay.
and then he comes back and he says, "Or the arch druid is willing to see you, but they've got a few other appointments today. If you don't mind waiting."
Oh, sure. About how long do you think it'll be?
Well, I don't know. He's got a discussion with a treant, and sometimes those guys they do go on a bit, you know.
Oh, sure. I think we all know how that goes.
My cousin Larry, he kind of points over at the furbolg that he yelled to before. He once got into an argument with a treant, and it lasted 3 weeks. And honestly, it was
Ooh,
just a matter of who was going to go left and who was going to go right. You know, one of those situations where you run into somebody and you both try to go the same way.
sure.
3 weeks.
Well, let's, I guess, hope the Archdruid's business with the tree isn't as difficult as determining which way to go.
Sometimes that can be problematic. I mean, the direction you go
It
is
can.
the direction you go can determine the entire outcome of your entire life.
Oh, yeah. I've had plenty of times when I went left and should have gone right.
Same here. Oh, I
Oh,
do go on though. If you want to wait, you're welcome to step inside. There's a nice waiting room in there. They've got some foodstuffs for you if you're hungry. They don't have any of the mead, but they do have some water if you're thirsty.
oh, I thank you. I think I'll take you up on that. Should kind of head over there. Just kind of have little snacks, finish off the mead, meditate a little bit.
I mean, it's all vegetarian.
I
Um,
imagine that Katie's probably at least mostly vegetarian, anyways.
Probably. Except for Monster. Um,
Well, I mean, when she's in an animal form, she'll,
Fair
gobble,
enough.
gobble.
Uh, an hour or so passes. But it's very peaceful here. It's very pleasant. The little waiting room, as promised, has the food and libations that you had heard of. There's a little like, I mean, well, given your what your field of study had been, you've been in a Japanese garden before, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So the water flow thing that occasionally makes the bonking sound. I can't remember what they're called, but
Yeah.
there's one of those. Um,
Yeah.
it's very peaceful, very relaxing. Um, and about an hour and a half go by, and this little glowing light kind of flitters into the room, moving a bit like a hummingbird. But when it kind of stops to actually hover, you see it as a tiny little pixie.
Hmm.
And you see the pixie kind of look around the room, sees you, flits over, and kind of stays a good social distancing a ways back. Um, and a polite distance from basically this day forward is going to be about 6 feet. And that's just the way it's going to be.
Sure. I kind of like that as a unit of measurement, though. One social distancing.
Yeah, one social distance away. So, so they're about one social distance away, and kind of hovering, and they kind of look you up and down, and then in a surprisingly baritone voice says, "Are you Chaedi?
Oh, yes, that's me.
The Archdruid will see you now.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Follow me." And they start flying, and like when they came in, they were zipping pretty fucking fast. But you see as they kind of turn and start moving, they're moving at about 30 per round, so about your pace.
Okay. I will follow them to the Archdruid.
Sorry, I had mixed in some powder with this drink, and I let it sit for so long that it's kind of sludgy at the bottom.
Ugh.
I will not be finishing that. Anyway, I'm trying to supplement some of my protein with protein powder, and it sat for too long.
Sure.
So he floats in, you follow behind, and you're kind of led through this arching, almost tunnel-like thing, and you kind of look up and you see you are on the inside of the tree, and it just goes up and up and up and up and out of your field of vision. And it's fucking gorgeous. Like hanging vines, you see, those kind of bioluminescent fruit, and the bioluminescent beetles are kind of crawling all over the place. The beetles kind of stay in a straight lines. You see motion up there as various brightly colored birds are flitting about. You do see the kind of more motes of light as you see more pixies darting in and around the kind of upper branches. It's gorgeous. And you walk for about 10 minutes before you come to what looks like a large, honestly, it looks like a large wall of those willow fronds from a willow tree, but they're so densely packed that it actually makes an effective wall. And you see the pixie kind of wave a hand, and the area that the path leads to draws aside. At which point he stops, kind of moves to the side, and gestures for you to enter.
I enter.
You step into a large. It looks and smells and feels like a lagoon. There's a little bit of a walkway, or there's a little bit of like just bare dirt and grass and whatnot, kind of left to, like there's an obvious like animal trail almost, but like kind of just left to grow. You see this kind of tree you see this tree within a tree, because you're within the big like tree. But you see indeed this willow tree kind of standing on this little copse of land. But otherwise, this is dominated by a large pool that is so still it is almost like a reflecting pool. And kind of in the middle of this reflecting pool, you see a large snow white owlbear who seems to be kind of playing in the water.
I'll kind of, enter in a little ways, pause a respectful distance, a social distance away.
Well, do you actually walk to pause a social distance away? You'd have to walk into the water. Do you do so, or do you stay on the land?
I'd probably stay at the edge of the water then.
Okay.
I'll kind of give it a small bow.
And you see it kind of stand. You see it stand on its rear, its hind legs, and kind of turn its owl head towards you, and then you see it kind of fluff its feathers, shaking the water off of it. Still far enough away that you're not in the splash zone. And you see it as it's doing this. It's like it seems to be kind of appraising you a little bit, taking you in. It steps forward. And who are you?
My name is Chaedi Nalendil. I have come quite a ways to seek your counsel.
I see. You have the smell of destiny about you.
I, is that a good smell or a bad smell?
That depends on one's destiny, doesn't it?
Uh, sure.
And you see the creature kind of sits down. And have you seen a bear sitting almost like a person?
Yeah.
Like their hind legs are kind of splayed out and their front legs are kind of down, and they look like
Yeah.
giant, playful dogs. That's kind of what it
Mm-hmm.
looks like here.
Okay.
And even sitting down, like this is probably the biggest owl bear you've ever seen. Uh, so sitting down, it even still is like a head and shoulders taller than you.
Hmm.
And it's just sitting like it is now about a social distance away, and it's sitting in the water and having this conversation with you.
Okay.
That
What kind of?
may. Sorry, go ahead.
I'll kind of like kneel down at the edge of the water too, so we're both kind of, in a relaxed position, and I'm not standing while he's sitting.
Your name is known to me, but are you any relation to a woman named Aranye?
She is my mother.
Ah, yes. I see some resemblance. For the daughter of Aranye, I will happily provide whatever counsel I can. What is it you wish to know?
Well, I've first thing, I feel as if I've hit a bit of a wall with my ability to take animal shape. I There's only so many that I've encountered, and I feel like I could do more in general for my friends to be useful if I had more different, not better, that's the wrong word, but options or other ways to enhance the forms that I can take. Is there any training you could recommend or places I could go, perhaps?
You see Primfeather kind of glance around, swivel the head owl style around the area. This is a good place to learn different forms. If you were to stick around here for some time, there are druids here who have gone very far afield and have learned all sorts of different animal shapes. You are, of course, welcome to stay as long as you wish.
That is most appreciated. Thank you. I will gratefully take you up on that. Now that out of character, I was looking over some of my notes, and I do see one that says that those in the green city of the Feywild would know how to find her mom. This is different. The place that I'm at, this is not the green city of the Feywild, right?
Technically, no.
Okay.
But there is a good chance, like, you're talking to the head of this area, basically. If
Yeah.
anybody's going to know how to get to the green city of the Feywild, it's probably this person.
Yep. Just wanted to make sure I was on the right track there. So the second question I had is if you know how to reach the green city of the Feywild.
Of course. Why do you wish to go there?
I have it on good authority that the people there would know how I could find my mother.
Ah, that is a different matter. I'm certain they would. I don't know that they. I'm certain they do know where your mother is. I'm not certain they would tell you.
Well, that is a problem for future me.
It just kind of stares at you for a long minute. Super hard to read.
Hmm.
Why do you seek your mother?
Does a child need a reason to seek their mother?
It depends.
She has been gone for quite some time, and I know that whatever business it is that she's on is very important business. But I still miss her, and if there is something that I can do to help her complete her tasks or find a way that she no longer need carry her current burden, I would like to see what aid I am able to give her.
That is a good reason.
I certainly thought so.
Would you like to see her now?
Is is that possible?
You see him nod, which is a little weird because you're not used to animals having human traits.
Sure. I suppose I would be lying if I said no.
Come. And he stands. And he kind of slogs through the water towards the little copse of land with the willow tree on it.
Okay, I'll stand up and follow him. Head over to him.
You see he reaches out and he touches the willow tree. And you see the bark kind of ripple. Step through, but to do so with caution. Where you go, where your mother strides, is unsafe.
Thank you. And she'll cautiously step through.
Okay. There's a similar sensation to teleportation, where the world just kind of goes winks out of existence and then you're somewhere else.
Sure.
This one is much less. You actually have kind of a greater feeling of getting like sucked through the roots of this tree, connecting to the earth and the various root systems that everything is kind of connected to, moving quickly. I mean, barely quickly that you're so quickly that you can barely register what's happening, and a second later you are stepping out of what appears to be a very dead tree, probably an oak at some point. Go ahead and you step into this landscape, and it at one point had been this. It would have had to have been this verdant green, gorgeous, like rolling hills, babbling brooks and streams. Now imagine that after about 20 years of drought. Everything that's alive is kind of barely holding on. Dried. The air just smells dusty and dry. Dry grass kind of sticks spikily out of the ground in tufts. Everything's kind of a dingy, tannish brown. The ground seems to be kind of dry and cracked under your feet. I would like you to go ahead and make a perception roll, please.
Okie dokie. Do 23.
Okay. So a little ways distant, about maybe 30 yards ahead of you, you see kind of a large mound of rocks. And you see kind of crouched next to that mound of rocks, slowly kind of making the way around it, a figure. That, after a moment, you recognize is definitely your mom.
I'll start briskly walking over towards her.
Are you making any attempt at stealth, or are you just walking over?
Well, they did warn me that it was dangerous here, so I'm not going to be like using the dash action to get there as soon as possible, but I'll just be kind of walking my full 35-foot speed, keeping eyes and ears open to see if anything notices me.
Okay. Oh, hey, D&D Beyond updated their encounter generator, or encounter thing. That's cool.
Huh.
It used to be you couldn't roll the dice with the bonus on the encounter page.
Oh.
And like you can on the sheets, but now you can.
Nice.
So, as you walk forward, you do notice that each of your steps there's a little like curl of dust that kind of follows in your wake. But as you get within about 30 feet, as opposed to 30 yards, your mom like turns and makes eye contact with you, and her eyes get real big for a second. And then she kind of she like frantically like gestures for you to get down.
Okay. I will hunker down, get a... What was there? Was it 30 feet on that one? Okay, so yeah, as long as once I get within 30 feet of her, I'll use Pass Without Trace from the Staff of the Woodlands.
Okay.
And go kind of full stealth mode.
Okay, so you so go ahead and actually roll your stealth.
All right. With Pass Without Trace, 22.
All right. So yeah, you move up to her, and very quietly in Druidic, she she gives you a hug first and foremost. And then she kind of whispers very quietly, like just on the inaudible, just on the inaudible side of audible.
Sure.
I am very glad you're here, but your timing is very different.
I'll kind of try to whisper back in that kind of same volume, just barely loud enough for her to hear it. Why? What's going on?
I am tracking a very large and dangerous creature.
Anything I can do to help?
Before the fight with the dragon, I would have said no. But I think that would be stupid. So... So, peek around these rocks and tell me what you see.
I'll peek around the rocks.
Make a perception.
14.
You just see more empty, empty, dried out, drought-ridden landscape.
Okay. I'll tell her as such.
And she kind of nods and says, "Look again."
Okay. I will peek around again, and I'll kind of try extra hard. I'll kind of, take a moment, center myself, and try to look for kind of every excruciating detail out of the landscape.
Okay, we'll say that she's aiding another you, so go ahead and roll with advantage.
All right. With advantage. Wow, I rolled 2 5s, so 15 this time.
Still not terrible though. It's not that you see anything specific. It's that you notice something is different, like a spot the difference painting. There was a very large, what looked like a very large rock, kind of not in the further back, further away from you, probably about 50 feet away. And that rock is gone.
Do rocks normally move in this place?
Not in this area.
I'm guessing that rock was the big thing you're tracking.
You see she nods quietly.
Got it.
What was your previous stealth roll?
I should still have it. 22. And Katie's mom would have the +10 to stealth bonus from Pass Without Trace as well.
Need to roll her stealth. Oof. Yeah, glad you gave her that. So she very quietly whispers, "This creature is a spider-like being from elsewhere. It is the embodiment of unnatural destruction. It pops in and out of existence at will. But if you can catch it, it bleeds just like anything else."
How do you stop it from popping back out of existence?
She shrugs.
I don't think there's really much of anything that I've got that's able to dimensionally, realitily anchor something.
She does.
She
does add, "It can't stay gone for super long, so check again." And she kind of gestures to where you've been looking.
All right, I'll peek out one last time.
Okay. Perception advantage.
Okay. Swear to God, if I roll 2 6s this time. All right. Well, a 5 and a 9, so 19 perception this time.
Yeah. This time, the rock appears to be closer. About 30 feet away. And now that it's a little closer and you kind of know what you're looking for, you're realizing you're not actually looking at a rock. You're looking at the chitinous exterior of an exoskeleton. That now that you're looking at it, you realize I probably should have seen that before. If you hadn't rolled like shit.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was D&D Beyond Dice apparently want me to have a real rough start of this. waiting for a good spot to kill it?
She's like, I was going to see. I thought it had seen me, which is why I ducked back here. I want to try to get an ambush on it.
Hmm. And I could try to draw its attention. So you can hit it from behind.
Yeah, if you want to draw its attention, I could turn into an earth elemental and attack it from underneath.
Ooh, or we could both turn into elementals and both attack it from underneath.
Good thinking.
All right. Let's do this.
Let's do it.
We'll go Earth Elemental.
So you and your mom Earth Elemental up.
Yeah.
All right, so we're not going to be in Inish yet, because this is going to be basically your surprise round. But go ahead and roll Inish.
All right. That will be a 9.
9.
9.
All right, so you both shift. Your mom gets to go first. So she is going to Earth Glide down and towards... Excuse me. Earth Glide down and towards the spider, and then she's going to hold her action until you get there.
All right, I will follow suit.
Okay. And because of Tremor Sense, you guys know exactly where it is. Go ahead and roll whatever attack you're going to roll.
That will be the double slam of the elemental. So... that will be a 23 to hit with the first slam. And 27 to hit with the second slam.
Both are going to hit.
Beautiful. So... 15 magic bludgeoning damage on the first. And 14 magic bludgeoning on the second.
Just got to double check a thing here. Okay, and both of your mom's attacks hit. And I'm just going to take the static damage because it's just easier that way.
Fair.
All right, so the two of you glide underneath the ground and get underneath this creature. It's, basically its body is about the size of a horse. Just its body. Its legs make it stand about 15 feet tall and kind of cause it to fill like a large 15-foot a 15-foot area. It is a huge sized creature.
Okay.
You both kind of, in order to get to the body, you both kind of have to spring up from underneath and slam your fists into its underbelly, and you both hit super hard, and the creature lets out this screech of pain. as you both slam into it. So we're going to start the top of the round, which is your mom.
All right.
She's going to hit it twice more, or attempt to hit it twice more.
Go, Mom, go.
Which she will hit both times, so that is another...
Nice.
And then she is going to drop below the surface of the ground. So you guys popped up, she... and then... and dips below the ground again. The giant spider lets out this unearthly sounding shriek. It is its turn. And it is going to attack you. Since your mom up and disappeared.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you see its maw kind of shift underneath its body and just kind of hush, hush. So does a 27 and 24 hit you?
They do both hit, yes.
I will need 2 Constitution saving throws, please.
Okie dokie. Uh, 18 for the first. And 23 for the second.
Okay, you are fine. Half as much on a successful save. So for the bite attacks themselves, it is considered magical.
Okay.
32 points of damage.
Oof.
That is both. That's both together.
Is it piercing damage?
It is.
Okay.
And then you made the save, so you'll take half. So that times that is, and then you will take 36 points of poison damage, unless you are immune to poison, which you may be.
Yes, sir. The elementals are immune to poison.
Okay, then that attack means absolutely nothing. And then you see it just kind of and disappears.
Okay. I ready an action to punch it twice really hard if it comes back.
Just got to double check the thing here. Okay. All right. You ready in action to hit it twice when it comes back. Your mom goes. She kind of surfaces again. Or no, she doesn't surface again. You can hear, because you're an earth elemental and you got the tremor sense thing. You hear the vibrations of her cursing. As the creature reappears about 30 feet away and launches a web from its butt at you.
Ugh.
And it's got to... This is a to hit thing, which is weird to me, but I just work here, so... But I'm guessing a... Where is it? 12 does not hit you.
It does not.
Okay. So it launches this sticky webbing at you, and it literally just sails over the top of your head, and kind of impacts on the boulder, kind of covering it in this thick, kind of greenish, viscous webbing. And then you see it scrambles away from you 40 feet. So it is currently 70 feet away from you.
That is... Well... I suppose I will move and dash to go 60 feet.
Okay.
But it would essentially be 15 feet away from me still, right?
10. But yeah.
Well, because the slam attacks for an earth elemental have a reach of 10 feet.
Okay, then you can hit it.
Okay. Well, I'll be within range of it. I had to
Oh,
dash
right.
to
You won't
get
be able to
it,
take your
so-
attack action.
Yeah, but I can get up in range with it. So if it just runs, I can attack of opportunity it. But I can take a bonus action to sack a spell and heal a little bit. So I will do that. And that will be Katie's turn.
All right. Your mom is going to move and dash up to be beside you. But that is also the extent of what she can do. And then the giant spider is going to give an attack to each of you.
All right.
Again, that kind of slashing maw comes down at you both. Ooh. Yeah, 15?
Does not hit.
Yeah, and I rolled 2 5s, so it doesn't hit either of you.
Woo!
But then again, as it and it just kind of impacts, you both kind of raise up an arm, and it just kind of impacts on your rocky flesh. It kind of retracts a little bit. You see bits of the chitinous that makes up its mandibles kind of flying off as it tries to bite down on you, and you see it kind of and it disappears again. What do you do?
Well, I'm going to use Earth Glide and just go kind of just underneath the surface of the ground where I am currently. I'm not going to move yet.
Okay.
And I'm just going to remain there for my turn.
Okay. Your mom follows your lead because she thinks you have a plan. Or hopes you have a plan, at any rate. Let me just look at a thing. The spider appears once again about 30 feet away and then just seems to kind of wait.
Okay.
It's definitely it's kind of back and it's back and kind of curled in a little bit on itself in a defensive way, and its head is moving around, getting the access to all of the 8 eyes.
Sure. All right. Then I will Earth Glide over the 30 feet so I'm underneath it. And then if I can on this round, I will pop out and punch it twice.
Okay. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, that's right. You can't see you when you pop out. You can't see us when we're in the ground. All right, so 16 for the first attack.
As you swing, it kind of impacts on a thicker bit of its exoskeleton, and it doesn't seem to do anything.
And 23 for the second attack.
That one hits.
All right. And that will be another 14 magic bludgeoning.
All right. It is going to take its readied action, which unfortunately was a web, so he's at disadvantage because it is a ranged attack. Mm, 20?
That does still hit.
Okay, so as you spring up out of the ground and slam your fists into it, instead of hitting the exoskeleton the first time, you kind of got a face full of this goo as it's like panic spraying you. And it does let out kind of a surprise, inhuman sounding shriek. And it just like lets loose this deluge of this green, sticky, kind of viscous liquid that kind of covers you, but you do manage to slam your fist into it. Your mom's turn. She's going to move up, and she's going to slam it once, but then use her second attack as an attempt to grapple it.
All right.
Okay, so that did not go as she planned. Damn it. All right, and it'll be opposed athletics. So it... Okay, so she pops out of the ground, but she does so in a place that's kind of covered with that webbing. So she gets it kind of all up in her face, and you see she attempts to swing but kind of misses, and then clears her eyes and then reaches up, and you see her grab onto it around the middle. And you see its legs are kind of flailing a little bit, trying to get purchase. It is grappled.
All right.
It is its turn. It is going to try to break the grapple.
Oh, and what does being webbed do to me effectively?
We'll get to that on your turn in just a second.
Okay.
So that was that. And then this has got a plus 10. Yeah, it tries to break the... Actually, because it can do it as an attack action and it gets 2, it's going to try twice. The first time it fails. The second time... Jesus. Okay. So yeah, like she's got it around the middle, and its legs are kind of scrambling and scrabbling for purchase. The first time doesn't even get close to breaking out. At one point, it does look like it almost makes its way out, but your mom just kind of and hangs on even all the more tighter. So it is still grappled.
Excellent.
On to your turn. You are restrained by the webbing.
Ah.
So a restrained creature's speed becomes 0. It cannot benefit from any bonus to its speed. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. And you're also at disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
Well, that is not advantageous. So I'm going to try to break out of that.
Okay, make a strength check, please. Not a saving throw, a check.
Okay. Which is just D10 plus strength modifier, right?
D20, please.
Or D20 plus strength modifier.
Yes.
15.
You grab and you start to try to yank it off, but it is super strong. You do get 2 attacks around. I will allow you to attempt a second time.
All right. Give that a shot. 14.
Yeah, it's kind of saying like you're trying to yank it off, but you're not having any luck.
All right.
Yeah. Do you have anything for bonus action?
Do I have the bonus action? Not really much that I can do here. But I suppose. Well, I suppose. So I suppose if my speed is technically 0, I'm not able to just kind of earth glide, burrow, and melt into the ground, am I?
Nope, you are fastened to the spot.
All right. Then, yep, I think that's. Well, you know what? I'm going to burn one more spell slot as a bonus action and heal a little more. And that will be my turn.
All right. Your mother is going to attempt to pin it. Yeah. So yeah, you see your mom wrestling with it, kind of manages to kind of hook herself over, and then using the tremendous weight of the elemental form, kind of bears it to the ground, pinning it there, and then she takes her fist and slams it into it.
Nice. Note to self: don't piss off mom.
Yeah. Mom is kind of a badass.
No kidding.
All right, it is still up and struggling, however. That is its turn. It's going to just start biting at your mom. Because that's about all it can do. Actually, I should double check. So yes, it is also restrained, so it has disadvantage on her. What is the AC of... Okay, so even with disadvantage, the first one is going to hit. Because this thing's attack bonus is kind of huge. And yeah, so even with disadvantage, it's going to hit. But that is the first damage that your mother has taken thus far. So.
That's good. And I'll still have to chew through a lot of hit points to knock her out of elemental form.
Yep. Oh, I get it. So I can just do that. That was its turn. It is now your turn.
All right. Well, if it is now restrained, then my disadvantage and its advantage against it will cancel out to just a straight roll. So I'm just going to attack it twice.
Probably a good idea.
Uh, 16 to hit?
A 16 will not hit.
Ooh. Ooh, there we go. 24.
That'll definitely hit.
That's better. And that will be 15 more magic bludgeoning.
All right. So from the webbing, you just kind of... Well, your mom's got it held to the ground. It shrieks out in pain, still struggling against her. It is your mother's turn. She's going to keep wailing on it. The first time she hits it in kind of a well-armored area and it doesn't seem to do anything. The second time, however, she does manage to impact and do some damage.
Ooh.
It is starting to look... It's starting to ooze things.
Oozing things is good.
It is oozing things out of places it ought not to be oozing things.
Oh no, I think it ought to be oozing things out of those places.
Well, how about it doesn't want to be oozing things?
Well, that might be the case.
It's starting to panic. It is going to attempt to break the pin. It tries twice to break the pin. However, your mom Okay. The first attempt it makes is it squirms. Your mom just kind of holds onto it, and you see it you see the elemental face of your mother just kind of grit down on its granite teeth. The second time, though, it kind of pushes her off and manages to get to a standing position. She's still grappling it, like she's got her arms around it still, but it's no longer pinned.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try again to break out of that webbing then.
All right, make a strength check.
There we go, 23.
Yeah, with one massive surge, you kind of grab the webbing and just kind of rip it off of yourself, like Superman ripping off chains, and you glare at the thing. You do have one attack if you wish.
I will absolutely take that attack. And 14 is going to miss.
Yeah, 14 will miss, unfortunately. As it kind of bucks and springs, like you manage to hit like a leg, but it doesn't seem to do anything to it.
No.
Your mom is going to attempt to reestablish her grapple on it. Okay, not bad. And then it... I love that I'm changing dice rollers even though I really don't have to. Yeah, and you see her just kind of like angle her body a little bit to gain a little bit more advantage on it, and then just push it back to the ground. It now is pinned again. And then she's going to take her second attack.
Go, Mom! Establish dominance!
Oh, yeah, just nails the thing. It is now in a bit of a frenzied panic. So it's just going to attempt to chew through your mom.
Alright. Oh.
One hits, one misses. It's a good thing you're both immune to poison.
That is very nice. Also kind of amused that this is like a large, scary embodiment of destruction in this mystical land, and our tactics are basically a really fancy way of holding it down and beating it to death with rocks.
Yep.
Seems on brand.
Some things just need to be pummeled to death. That is all I'm going to say on that. I think that might need to go on one of our merchandise t-shirts.
There you go.
So yeah, as it's frenzied biting, like it kind of bites down on a thick rocky portion of your mom's anatomy, doesn't seem to do anything, but then bites down again and it kind of breaks through, and you see she's kind of dusting out of the cracks in her armor. It is your turn. You have advantage.
All right. I am absolutely going to try to beat the crap out of it. Let's see. So, first attack, 26 to hit.
That definitely hits.
I'm sorry, 25 rather.
Still hits.
But, yeah. Second attack will be 22 to hit.
Also hits. Please roll damage.
Beautiful. 11 magic bludgeoning for the first. Ouch. And 9 magical bludgeoning for the second. Those were some bad damage rolls.
It was enough. How do you want to do this?
Oh. All right. So Katie's mom is holding the thing down. Katie sees it chomp into her mom for the second time the encounter, and has finally just had enough. And just while it's being pinned, just kind of like lines it up and does the like hammer blow just straight down on its head. And with a loud crack of its chitinous plates, it just goes limp.
Yeah, so it kind of quivers for a second and then just kind of And you see where you've cracked its skull open, you see more of that kind of Icarus goo flowing out. And you see your mom kind of extricate herself from the ridiculously long limbs and just kind of still in earth elemental form.
Yeah. Katie just kind of like kicks its head once again for good measure.
You see she shifts back down into her elf form. She kind of glances around and calls, "Bamf!" And you see, you hear kind of a bark from a distance away. And then a second later, the blink dog appears next to you and starts like hopping up on you and panting and yipping.
Ah, that kind of Bamf.
You recall it's her animal companion.
Yeah. All right. Katie will kind of take a quick look around, see if there's anything else that seems to be threatening in the area.
Not that you can see.
Right. Then she'll revert to her elfin form as well.
You did good. I'm proud of you. That was impressive.
Thank you. That was some impressive grappling.
I figure when you're an earth elemental, you may as well take advantage of the larger size.
Sure. What an earth elemental do as the earth elementals do.
Exactly. Oh, well, you're here. I suppose you probably want to see what I've been working on.
Thought it'd cross my mind at some point, yeah. Is it mostly a lot of this, or?
This is not super common. I hate that guy. It's here every day. This is a one-off. This is one of the ones that got through. I should show you. She kind of, Bamf, come here. You see Bamf kind of, poof, poof, and just kind of appears in her arms. And you see she walks over to the very same dead tree that you popped through. And you see she casts transport via plants as well.
Nice.
Do you go through?
Yeah, I'll follow her through.
Okay. As you step through and you feel her kind of slipping behind you, that same sensation of being traveled through like the roots of the earth and all that stuff also occurs as you plow your way through and you kind of pop out and you step out of what looks like a larger, very large, like a redwood kind of style tree. And the minute you step out, you hear the sounds of pitched battle. You are surrounded by these redwoods. Think Ewok forest.
Okay.
But you see there's a bit of a rise over to your right, and that's kind of where your mom starts to walk. And as you walk up this rise, that sound of pitched battle becomes more pronounced. And eventually you get to the very top of this ridge, and it kind of drops off, and you see this massive valley, bifurcated by this glowing wall of energy that is constantly, looks like it's this purplish energy. Not quite, it's not a straight line. It's kind of waving and bulges in certain places. But it is near the bottom of it, all the way across. It is continually like sparking and reacting, and in a couple of places you actually see it disappear. On your side of the wall, there's this massive horde of fey creatures, all different sizes, types, everything you can imagine, and then some. And they are doing battle with the things on the other side, which, from what you can see, at least in the immediate area, are millions of these spiders that are just constantly attacking this wall. And whenever the wall breaches, they start surging through like, baby spiders out of a sack. and the Fey folk swoop in and start attacking and murdering them. There are a few other like druids and treants and that sort of thing who are also participating in this particular conflict.
Sure. Is it just endless spiders?
I wish. The spiders are the shock troops.
Oh.
You see, she puts down the dog. They're just there to bring down the barrier if they can.
Huh.
Occasionally, the enemy will bring siege weapons to bear, in which case sometimes the whole wall will go down. Those are the bad days.
Criminy.
She kind of turns to look at you. I didn't have a lot of time to do research or anything like that, but I asked around. There's some dark power rising back in Solanel. And whatever it is, and she kind of gestures to the foes across the wall. Whatever it is has stirred up a lot of trouble for the fair folk.
So you think these things and where they're coming from is related to what's happening on Solanel?
I am telling you what I was told. There is a creature who goes by the moniker Akodaban.
Akodaban. Why does that name sound familiar?
I will tell you. Metagame, at the end of the last game, during the fight with the big dragon, there was that chant right beforehand. In that chant, they referenced the name Akodaban.
Gotcha. That would be why. So if this Akodaban is found and taken out, maybe this either lessens or goes away?
She shrugs. I don't know. Akodaban is not the type to have allies, more like vassals.
Suppose it's worth a shot.
It couldn't hurt.
And if it works, 2 birds, 1 stone.
And if it doesn't, my course of action remains the same.
Well, I get why you're still doing it.
Sorry I couldn't talk more about it. Fey rules and such. I physically can't talk about it outside of here.
Well, weird, but I suppose that's how the Fae do things.
The Fae don't want outside influence. The only reason why myself and some of our brethren are here is because of our close ties to nature.
Sure.
And some of us have made stronger inroads with the fair folk than others.
Makes sense. Well, I think my normal traveling group and I have tangentially experienced some of the ripples happening because of this Kodaban. Maybe we'll find him and take him out and help fix things.
She kind of nods a little bit, and she's like, I know better than to try to talk you out of it. But I will say that some of the oldest and most terrifying Fey creatures I have ever seen speak that name with reverence. And fear. Do not take him lightly.
I won't.
But it's good to see you.
Maybe you'll give her another hug.
She'll hug you back. Real tight mom bear hug type.
Oh, yeah. Is there anything else I can do to help here now?
She kind of glances around. Here? No. But you can take what you just learned back with you. Tell them what's happening. You are not under the same ban that I am. You didn't have this conversation with the fair folk.
True.
You can take this information back with you.
I will. And I'll do what I can to be ready in case we ever encounter this Kodaban. Hopefully we see you again soon.
Next time I can visit, I will. My duties keep me busy, she says somewhat sarcastically.
Yeah, I suppose they would. So,
do you need help? Do you need me to get you back?
Yeah, they didn't really explain how to get back when they sent me here, and I wasn't really thinking about that at the time.
Where were you when you came here? Who sent you?
It was Archdruid
Primfeather.
Primfeather, that was it.
Very good. I'll send you back to him. She has,
Thanks,
when she says that, she kind of has like a, oh, okay, that makes sense look on her face. She reaches out and kind of touches a nearby redwood. Gives you a quick like side hug while maintaining contact, and then kind of ushers you through the door. Oh, wait, before she does that. Rewind. She reaches and she pulls out a bag and she hands it to you. And she says, this is some various and sundry loot and goods that I've gotten while I've been here. They don't do me any good here because they don't use coin. And figure you probably could make better use of it where you're going.
You sure?
Oh, yeah. There's some good stuff in there.
Well, thank you. I'll do what I can to put it to use.
She grins. And then she activates the tree, side hug, ushers you through. You arrive standing on the little copse of land where having stepped through the willow tree. And once again, you see Archdruid Primfeather playing in the water. As you step through, he kind of looks up. Did you learn what you sought, young Chaedi?
I did. Thank you. I think I needed to experience that.
He nods. I understand. One often wishes to know why one's family does what they do.
Is it still alright if I stay around for a while and train a bit with some of the other druids?
Of course. Stay as long as you need.
Thank you. And she'll kind of bow again.
This time he'll bow, but just it's kind of more like a head nod type of thing.
Sure.
And then he flips up water over himself.
And Chaedi will head back out.
Okay. That was your adventure.
All right.
How long? We're going to kind of talk through the remaining time.
Sure.
How long do you stay amongst the druid? The druid folk.
she would probably just find somebody who could like cast a sending or a message spell or something to Leoben, saying, "Hey, this is where I am. Let me know when you're coming back home." And we'll basically just stay training until whenever Leoben heads back to town to, Saul's Rest.
Your response to the sending is, "Yeah, I'm in Saul's Rest."
I'll send him another sending. Is everybody else in Saul's Rest?
Oh, no.
Are you done doing the thing you wanted to do?
Yeah, didn't take super long.
Okay, well, I'm doing druid training stuff at, was it Arborea? That doesn't sound quite right.
No, that's correct.
It is Arborea, okay. At Arborea, let me know when the group is ready to go adventuring again.
Will do. So you did
Right. And then Chaedi was basically doing druid training montage until getting that word from Leoben.
It'll be about the 6 months. If you spend downtime, I would say that you could learn a language or a new skill.
Okay.
As far as, and I'll let you, you don't have to tell me what those are now. You can think about it. As far as learning new wild shapes, I would say go ahead and kind of figure out which ones you think you would like and run them by me first. But
Okay.
this is like the center of druid activity in this continent. So if it's an animal that you can turn into, somebody here can too.
Okay.
There is an item that I'm going to give you. I have to find it again because I had it and I thought I added it to your sheet already, but it's not there.
Yeah.
But basically, it's what wild armor used to be.
Ooh.
Where you could wild shape and still maintain your armor bonus.
Oh, that's cool.
So I will find it again and add to your sheet. That was in the bag of holding. By the way, that's a bag of holding.
Nice.
And then, if you're ready to write some shit down,
Ooh.
you've got some treasure.
I got some treasure.
You do.
Oh, we got treasure. Isn't that exciting?
Yang is super excited.
Don't look super excited. Okay. I'll write down the treasure. You go do your normal cat stuff.
So there are 14,000 gold.
Ooh. 14,000. Okay.
1,700 platinum.
1,700 platinum.
8 art objects, each worth 750 gold.
Ooh. Hold on.
And I'm going to tell you these assuming that you're going to get them identified at some point. Because you have 6 months to do so.
Yeah, 6 months and a whole bunch of druids and magic and
Yeah.
And the art objects were worth 750 gold. You said, right?
Correct. Each.
Okay.
You have a chime of opening.
Ooh.
A potion of clairvoyance, which we used a beautiful effect in the last game.
We did. That was great.
That was fantastic. A potion of stone giant strength.
Ooh.
And a potion of superior healing.
Superior healing.
Correct. That is the high-end one that's
Nice.
like 14,000 gold to buy.
Cheebus.
Correct. That is the correct answer.
Okay.
At the end of the 6 months, you'll get word that people are kind of making their way back to Saul's Rest, and you will head back, and everybody will meet up at Saul's Rest the next time we game.
Sounds good.
So, well, thank you for playing. I hope you had a good time.
Yes, thank you for running. That was a lot of fun.
No problem. I do enjoy doing the one-on-one games. I have to say that in doing these, I'm a little more hoarse than I normally am because I do a lot more talking when it's just the two people.
Sure.
Oh, by the end of these games, I'm like, okay, everybody, we're done, and thank you very much. So yeah.
Yeah.
And thank everybody for watching. These are going to be airing in the week leading up to the 23rd. This will be the last one to air, so the next time you see us, it will be the whole group together once more, and we will be ready to move on with our game, adventure again, and deal with what is probably going to be the final arc of the game, and hopefully deal with Kodaban, or he'll eat you, either way.
Yeah, tomato, tomato.
Tomato, tomato. So, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, everybody.